Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle Haas. Well, look what came in the mail. The Heritage Auction Preview. They got, of course, their big boy auction coming up, and they want Swaggle Haas and all of you Heritage buyers to spend some money. Well, joke's on them. YouTube does not pay me enough to bid on a Captain America number 117, first appearance of Falcon in a CGC 9.8. Unfortunately, I'm not at that level yet, but maybe you guys can help me get there when you pick up a copy of Sanity. You know, if I sell enough of these, maybe 70,000 copies, then I too can afford a $70,000 CGC 9.8 book, although it might be on sale in this coming auction, but we're going to talk about that later on in the video, because in this video, I felt like it might be kind of fun to not let this paper go to waste, not let this book go to waste, and actually flip through this magazine and talk about some of the previews. I mean, most certainly I could have just pulled up this auction online and we could have looked at it digitally, but it might be kind of fun to flip through this book. I mean, they printed this thing, so maybe we put it to use. I've already given it a few spine ticks. You can see that there's some indentations here, maybe a little bit of fingerprints and stuff. This would not grade a CGC 9.8. I actually do wonder, do you think there will ever be a point when these Heritage Auction comic preview books become collectible? Maybe. Is there anyone out there that actually saves all these? Do you guys actually save these things? Write in the comments. Let me know. But anyways, before I get into it, of course, like, comment, subscribe. Thought this might be kind of a fun video for us to do here today. Flip through this magazine, talk about some of the books that are coming up, and ask ourselves the question, does the market actually have the capital to absorb a lot of these big books? Well, let us get into this video here today. Of course, guys, Heritage always has, some of their big premiere auctions that come up. They do these bigger sales where they kind of group together a lot bigger inventory. It's more of like a premiere auction compared to their weeklies. And they usually do a few a year, and they, of course, have this one coming up, here in September. And there's a lot of really, really great inventory in this that is going to be up for sale. Look at this, guys. Action Comics 13. I mean, how badass is that, guys? How cool is that? Superman stopping the runaway train right there. I mean, does it get more classic than that? Action Comics 13, CGC 2.5. Let's see if I can show you guys here. 4th Superman cover, 2-page centerfold ad for Superman number 1. A very cool book. Overstreet has this priced at $18,700 for a 2.0, but I gotta assume, guys, that it's gonna go for more than that. Of course, we got a bunch of other Action Comics books. The Promise Collection is one that is heavily featured in these in this auction coming up. A lot of these Promise Collection books, obviously very cool because they're 9.8s. Of course, the Promise Collection is the one with the two brothers. One went to World War II and loved comic books, and his brother took care of him. He promised to take care of him, but he died overseas. So, kind of very special books. But a lot of this stuff, is, I mean, they're really cool, but, a lot of them more in the fill category. I call them more fill books and stuff. But, people did love this stuff. I mean, look at how many you got coming up. I mean, all of this stuff. Now, Action Comics is a cool series, cool early series, but, I mean, how many people want, Superman Cowboy there, in a CGC 9.8, Action Comics 134. I mean, not too many, right? Like, not too many overall. We got an All Flash Quarterly number 1. Obviously, a book that people kind of like, although, I don't know. How many Flash collectors are there, guys? I mean, when you're in this level and you have that kind of money and you could be spending it on the first appearance of Wonder Woman, I mean, wouldn't you rather get that? That's the thing, too. And so, one of the things I'm always curious about is, obviously, the market, these Golden Age books are always going to be in demand. If people have the money, they want these books, that people are going to spend it up. But, there's a lot of stuff in here. It's like high-grade Silver Age stuff, or mid-grade 7.5 Journey into Mystery 83s and things like that. Is there enough capital right now to absorb some of these things? I mean, this All-Star Comics number 8, first appearance of Wonder Woman, CGC 3.0. This is actually one of the few kind of Golden Age superhero books that has actually seen some pullbacks in recent sales. And there's a lot of competition with this. I mean, I personally would rather have this book if I was a Wonder Woman fan. But, how many times have we seen Sensation 1 come up, which is like her first cover, second appearance, and this one has some Marvel chipping on it. Maybe there's going to be people that don't want this thing because of the chipping. right there on the side. But a really cool book that could take a little bit of a haircut. I mean, we'll have to pay attention to that and see what the sales go for. Some other cool stuff here. Of course, it wouldn't be a sale without, some Batman 1s going up for sale as well. Obviously, guys, Batman 1, one of the great books. First appearance of Joker and the Cat, who later becomes Catwoman. Now, this one's really funny. I talk about this one all the time whenever we do these auction things and we talk about Batman 1. I swear, Batman 1 is more common than ASM 300 at this point. Like, it is insane how many Batman 1s come up for sale every single auction. I mean, the print count or the census only says that it's around like 300, but I feel like there's 15,000 copies. Like maybe the easiest Golden Age book to find. And that's one of the problems with it. I mean, this one has been taking a little bit of haircuts from time to time. Obviously, it's a book that people would love to have, but I don't understand. Like, I have a feeling maybe in these last couple of years, with the comic book boom and stuff like that, I think a lot of people bought these, in a speculative way. I think there might have been a lot of comic book dealers who picked up a lot of Batman 1s and now are maybe trying to unload them back into the market. I have a feeling not a lot of collectors were picking up some of these Batman 1s, and that's one of the reasons why the shelf life has been so short on the people holding them. But here we have a 1/8. I mean, I'm sure this is still going to be, a six-figure book. Chip in the corner, but that personally doesn't bother me too much considering it doesn't really affect any of the key art. But yeah, a ton of Batman 1s always coming up for sale. This one's really interesting too when you have the coverless one. This is actually one of the few kind of coverless books that feels like that would be kind of cool to own. I mean, at least you're getting a pretty sweet Batman page right there. Obviously, if Joker was on it, that'd be even better. But, a lot of great Batman books right here, guys. Batman 3, my God, look at that. An 8.0. Can we get a little focus, camera? Can we get a little focus? 8.0 Batman 3. Look at the blacks on this one. Look at how saturated they are. I mean, that is pretty cool to see. I think Batman 3, as far as the early covers, top 10 Batmans, probably my favorite. I'd love to have that one. There's obviously, Batman 2, also kind of a fun cover, but I think that this one's a little more desirable. Batman 5 is always kind of the redheaded stepchild to me. Maybe, Batman playing with his toys. Every time I see this book, I always think of Lord Helmet in Spaceballs. And so it makes me kind of not want the cover. Of course, you got first appearance of Alfred right there. Another cool book, Batman 16. But this to me feels like a ladder book. Everyone, you buy this one, you hold it, and then you sell it to the next person because you want to use that money to jump to something even crazier. Of course, got some good stuff right here. Batman Promise Collection 9.4, Batman 42. Very cool Catwoman cover. There it is. Captain America Comics #1. Conservation includes staples cleaned. A 7.5 conserved comic book. I don't know. It's always hard to say. I mean, what do you guys think about conserved? Like, I feel like conserved gets a little bit more love than restoration books because it just feels like, it was a professional who, cleaned the staples as opposed to some guy trying to pull one over on me, in his pressing room in his mom's basement, and got that dreaded purple label. But I think there's actually a few Captain America comics coming up in this auction. And this is one that I feel like isn't typically as desired as some of the other, Batmans and Supermans and things like that, the #1 issues. This to me personally, this is my all-time grail comic book. I mean, I think that this cover alone, I mean, it doesn't get more classic than Captain America punching Hitler. Interesting to see what that one will go for. Last couple Captain America sales took a little bit of a haircut. Oh, here we go. We got a bunch of good Captain America stuff. All right, pop quiz, guys. Pop quiz. Which of these Captain America covers is going to sell for the most? You got 6 options here. Can you guess it? All right, time's up. It's going to be Captain America number 26 because it's got the shark cover right there, guys. The shark cover gets them every time. Has all the elements. Captain America looking cool. It's a Schomburg cover. It's got Nazis on it. These other ones, he's fighting Japanese soldiers, or, he's fighting these soldiers that aren't Nazis. They're not. This is not a Schomburg cover. That's not a Schomburg cover. So, got to have all the elements. Schomburg cover, Nazis getting punched by him, and then, of course, having a shark on the cover. My God, look at this, guys. When you go through these magazines and you just look at this stuff and you're just like, oh man, like these books, Look at how cool that is. Detective Comics 33, first appearance of Thomas and Martha Wayne, fourth Batman cover. Would you guys rather have the fourth Superman cover or the fourth Batman cover? That Action 13. Don't answer the question. I know what the answer is. It's obviously the Batman cover. I think we're at the point where I think comic book collectors do like Batman more than Superman, which makes me think that Superman comics might be undervalued, because what if he captures the zeitgeist once again when we get into James Gunn's Superman? Some of the best Joker covers right here. This is kind of one of the first cool Joker covers in my opinion. Obviously, his first cover appearance leaves a little bit to be desired, but this one's always really, really fun with the balloons. This one's always badass with the guns. People really like this stuff. I feel like we kind of see these books, though, come up, from time to time, which is, one of the things that I think is always something to consider. If you see the books come up, you know that people are looking to slingshot into other possible collectibles. Again, more Promise Collection books, Detective Comic stuff, high-grade Detective Comic stuff. A lot of this stuff, where it has value, to me, is stuff that I personally wouldn't collect. I mean, a lot of these covers are kind of, a little more kiddish, a little more goofy. Obviously, Detective Comics 168, First Red Hood, that's always going to be a high-value, in-demand book right there. Very cool to see that. You got a 4-color 9, First Carl Barks on Donald Duck right there. Always kind of a desirable book, an 8.0. Overstreet says this is going to be an $8,000 book with 12 higher graded on the census. I think it's going to go more for that. I think it's going to go for more than that. Jackpot Comics number 4, guys, right there. First Archie cover. See if I can give you guys some focus. There you go. There you see him right there. Archie on the cover in the little bubble right there. Now, this one's really funny. This is actually one that just sold in Comic Connect in the Bobby Blue collection. And I don't remember off the top of my head what it sold for, but kind of crazy to see. I mean, this is something that we talked about when we did our series with Automatic and Como. We talked about how there's always that risk. I mean, it generally is not going to be the case that you're going to see some of these books pop up in back-to-back auctions, but this is one that is that case. I don't know if the other one was a 6.5. If it wasn't a 6.5, it was very close to that type of grade. And there's another one that's coming up here, a Crime Suspense 22. My God. All right, we're going to talk about this in a second. My pants just shifted. The Crime Suspense 22 that was a 6.5 that went for a crazy number. And there's another one in this auction, guys, later coming up, which is crazy to see. I think that one is going to tank in value, but we're not there yet. Let's talk about these two. God, this is by far the coolest page in the book so far, in my opinion. You got Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies Comics number 1, first comic book appearance of Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and Elmer Fudd. This is a badass book right here. This one is so, so cool. I would absolutely love to have this book in my collection. Overstreet says VF80, $9,900. I don't even know why they put the Overstreet prices in these books. I mean, does anyone actually think that these Overstreet prices are actually close at all to what these things are going to sell for? But it does have the census here. 6 higher graded than this one right here. This is a really cool one to see. Definitely one that we're going to keep our eyes on. Then, of course, you have Marvel Mystery Comics number 4, first Submariner cover, first Nazi flag cover. I mean, this is one of the books that I don't actually think I've ever seen this one in person. I've seen a lot of books in person. I've seen a lot of these, ghost books in person, just going to all the San Diego Comic Cons and WonderCons and all the cons. You go to the Heritage booth and whatever, and you eventually see these books. This is one that I personally have never seen in person. And look at how, that is OG Submariner right there. First cover appearance in a 1.5, which makes it attainable. Are any of you guys bidding on this stuff? Who's out there? Who's a player in this current market? Marvel Mystery Comics, some of these good ones here. Got some other interesting ones. We're gonna skip over this, and some Sensation Comics, more Promise Collection stuff. Here you go. You got your Supermans again. Another one, Superman number 1, in a 5.0 restored, color touch, pieces added, tear sealed, reinforced. Now it is a beautiful 5.0, but this is a strange book. This one is going to be one that I would say probably sells less than whatever a 1.0 would go for. I could see this one going under 6 figures for sure. But again, Superman 1, Batman 1, Sensation 1, these books just keep showing up time and time again in all of these auctions. I mean, they do have, generally speaking, higher census counts than that of, say, some of the other, rare Golden Age books, or I don't know why I just did that. There are rare Golden Age books, but you know what I mean, guys. Higher census than the rare Golden Age books. And so, yeah, you would just always see a Superman 1. I have a feeling, again, a lot of dealers are sitting on these ones. It's a lot of dealers who pick these up, so they're always in the market to sell and try to flip and stuff. Very cool Superman number 3 right here. This is one that I think would be cool to pick up. Just a badass Superman cover. I like that he's rescuing the little kid and leaping over the train. Feels very, very classic to me. I think a lot of this Superman stuff, dare I say, might be kind of underrated right now. Again, I talked about it earlier. Everyone likes Batman. All those early Batmans have been selling for quite a bit of money, and the early Supermans have been kind of lagging behind a little bit. You got this cool Gaines file copy right there, 9/8 Weird Fantasy. That's cool to see. You got this Witch's Tales 25. This Witch's Tales 25 is, you got the guy's head in the bell right there. Definitely a book that people really, really enjoy and like. You got some Wonder Womans, Wonder Woman. This is totally how I would care. If I was going through the auction, I'd be like, yeah, okay, Wonder Woman. And no disrespect to Wonder Woman fans out there, but yeah, definitely not for me, specifically those ones. We got the Feed the Store collection. Let's go into here. Got a lot of Phantom Ladies here. You got some, other Marvel comics. You got this Lawbreaker suspense stories. This is one, guys, that comic book collectors are weird, man. Comic collectors are so weird. Lawbreaker suspense stories, number 11. I mean, guys, is this really a book you want to put on your back wall? This one is it's too real, this one. I don't know. Y'all are freaks, as I said. Picking up all these Phantom Lady Bondage covers and stuff. You know what's funny? I like how they put these all on the same page. It's like, why did they put Lawbreakers next to Phantom Lady? It's not even in alphabetical order. You know why they put it there? Because they know the same people who want to buy Phantom Lady number 17 also like Lawbreaker suspense stories. I'm on to you guys. I know what you guys are thinking. Slave Girl comics, Phantom Lady, Sun Girl, a lot of this stuff. All right, now we get to the Drek. Now we get to the boring stuff, guys. Silver Age, boring. Got an ASM 7.5 right here. So this is what I was talking about here, where we have to ask the question: does the market have the capital to absorb some of these books right now? I mean, most Silver Age books have had that correction, but you got to wonder. It's like, okay, obviously there's the people who want to get this book, so anywhere from that 1.0 to that 4.0 crowd, right? People want to get in the club, or they want to get, a nice presenting copy at that 4.0 range. But how many of those people, or how many people are in that window of the 5.0 to 8.0 club, right? When this 7.5 right here fits in that. It's like, I understand the people that are like the 9.0 and higher buyers, because those people obviously want the best of the best of the best, right? So they're in those markets and they have the money. This is always kind of a weird tweener area right here with the 7.5. And you have to wonder if proportionally do those books command the same value. My God, look at these. Look at these beautiful Rogue Gallery of Villains books. A 9.0 ASM 3. I mean, you never see this stuff. I mean, you do see it from time to time. But, this book is always wrapped. 9.2 Lizard right here, guys. John G. Fantuccio says on the label. This is a book that sometimes I think about, what if I was just the Lizard guy? What if I just sold my back wall and picked up a 9.8 of ASM 6? Would you guys respect that if I just had one book behind me, but it was the top of census for ASM number 6, First Lizard? Might be kind of cool to do that. A lot of these cool books. See, this is the fun stuff to see, because you have, obviously these books, come in every single auction, but it's not as often that you see this high of grade. I mean, look at how perfect. It's nice to get the high-res scans here. Look at how perfect this book is. It's a 9.4. I have Darkhawks that are in worse condition than this. I have Darkhawk 1s that have more spine ticks than this book from 1964. How does that happen? You know what I mean? How does that happen? High Grade Craven, Daredevil, and Spider-Man meets. Some other ASM Phil books that, no disrespect, guys, but I definitely would not be buying this. Okay, here's some interesting stuff. You got another 9/8 Punisher, ASM 129. I feel like not only is this book in every single big auction, it's in almost every single auction. You always have 9/8 Punishers, yet there are that many people that always want this book. I think there's like 150 9/8s on the census. So there's always going to be sellers, right? You know, it's like 150 is plenty of copies to have 2 of these books go up per month. But another book that has had definitely a haircut, but it's probably, you know, a good book for a long time. I mean, there's a lot of people who love Punisher. Punisher and Ghost Rider, while their books have corrected quite a decent amount, I do think that those characters have potential. You know, it wasn't that long ago, 30 years, when Punisher and Ghost Rider were as popular as Wolverine. Think about that. There's a different multiverse where Nick Cage's Ghost Rider was actually good, and those Marvel Spotlight 5s are more expensive than Hulk 181s. There is a universe where that exists. There's a multiverse. Got some rare Del Aldo art right there, guys. 9.4. That's probably like a $5,000, $6,000 book, but that one is actually, that's the book right there. That's the Del Auto book. All right, let's talk about this. Captain America 117 and the CGC 9.8. Funny that they put this one on the cover. I don't know why they did that. I wonder what that is. Is like the person who's consigning this was like, yo, help me out, man. We got to get this book out there. Now, last sale for this was in September of 2022. Basically a year ago at this point. A year ago, this book sold for $76,000, $78,000, somewhere around there, the high 70s. Now, that book was white pages. This is off-white to white. I have a feeling this book's going to get a haircut. You know, we talked about the Luke Cage Hero for Hire book that took a haircut. I think that this one is also going to get a haircut here. I got to think that this is going to go back to 40 or 50, maybe 60. I could be wrong. What do you guys think about this? These are tough, man. The 1968 and 69 Silver Age books, albeit it's a 9.8 black cover, so hard to get this in 9.8. But those are the ones that have haircuts. Speaking of another paper-handed collectors right here, FF5. Everybody sells their FF5s. There are no holders of FF5. Another book that literally has a 1,500 census, but it feels like 1,500 of them are constantly up for sale. That's what it feels like with this book. Constantly people selling their Dr. Dooms. I think it's because everybody was speccing on Doom, and because we didn't get him in Wakanda Forever, everybody's like, crap, like how much longer do I have to wait? And they want to put their money into something else. You know what's funny about this cover? Every time I look at it, I think that this is a reader's crease right here. Do you guys ever see, you know, that line that's in the art? I always think that that's a color-breaking reader's crease. But yeah, another beautiful 8.5 copy. Another one that's in that tweener window, you know? Some high-grade FFs. 9.6, guys. 9.6. There are 6 higher than this. But look at, dude, this is crazy. 9.6 all-black cover for Black Panther. I mean, that is really cool to see. 6 higher graded. So there are 6 9.8s. But man, where is even the damage on this? Maybe a faint little spine tick right there. I see it way up there. Little spine tick up there, guys. Right underneath Thing's face. But man, that is a beautiful book. Hard to get the, you know, when it's an all black cover and it's that high grade, even if it's 1966, I mean, that is, wow. House of Secrets 92. 9.6 white pages. My gooseness. There you see a little spine tick right there in the middle. Right on that purple. But man, look at how beautiful that is. First appearance of Swamp Thing. This is one I wonder. You know, I wonder about this one. Like, everybody likes this. You might as well put this into, you know, PCH collectors loving this book. You know, it's basically kind of like in that PCH genre. And it has the Swamp Thing factor, which makes it really nice. A very, very interesting book. I'd love to add this one to my collection for sure. Swamp Thing, I grew up on that Swamp Thing movie. I love that 80s Swamp Thing movie. So he's one of my favorite DC characters. You got stuff like this, 7.0 Incredible Hulk, obviously an amazing book, but again, it's the tweener thing. 7.5 Journey to Mystery 83. I mean, it's the tweener factor. Who's going to buy that stuff? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Marvel Superheroes 13, first appearance of Carol Danvers. Let's capitalize on the Marvel's hype train, boys and girls. No higher graded copies. There's only 3 9/8s. Now, in fairness, this book is impossible to get in 9/8. It is a square bound book. We know about the square bound books, guys. But man, Marvel Superheroes 13. This is a book. Yeah, man, it was so expensive when the Marvels was out in 2018. This book was so expensive. One of the only books from a prior high that didn't get met during the comic book boom of 2021. That's how sad it is. The higher highs for the sale was actually in 2018, not 2021. That's pretty crazy. But look at that, 9/8 white pages, only 3 copies. This is one to watch for. We got to figure out what this is going to go for. This is one of those ones where it could go surprisingly low because nobody cares about it, or it could be shockingly high. But yeah, trying to capitalize on the Marvel's hype train. Another mid-grade showcase right there. Oof, look at these. Showcase 17. Silver Surfer 9/6 right here. I mean, this is one that, you have a decent amount of 9/8. You have 25 9/8, but still a beautiful book. Everyone's favorite Silver Surfer cover right there. You got some interesting ones here. You get these bounded versions, which I think are kind of funny. I don't know if these were maybe they're file copies back in the day. Maybe they were in libraries or something, so they got bound together. But you got all this stuff. Kind of funny to right there you can see just file copies essentially, bound all these comic books together. It's kind of sad actually. It's unfortunate that I'm sure that these are actually pretty nice copies. I mean, look, there's no color breaks on this Tales to Astonish 44. Very few color breaks on this one right here on 27. And those are always tough books to get in high grade. Of course, you're going to have a Team NT. You got a Tomb of Dracula #1 and a 9/8. This is a book. Shout out to Comic Books. This is a book that at one point was in the 5-figure range. It has had quite a haircut. The problem with this is you have these books, and while this is very rare in 9/8, not very rare. I can see 79. Oh, excuse me, camera. 79 9/8s right here for this book. So more rare than a lot of Bronze Age stuff, but I guess it's at the same level of ASM 129, things like that. Probably if you had as many people sending in their books to be graded, you'd have the same 9/8 rate. But this is one of those ones where it's like, you had a sale that went to that $10,000 price point or whatever that 5-figure price point was, and then people were like, my goodness, that's what I'm sitting on, and then they have the motivation to sell. And this is one that has dropped back down to the $5,000 range. Oh my God, guys. It must be Tuesday. It must be Tuesday because here we have another Djurjevic variants going up for sale in this auction. Now, what was funny about this auction, we actually had 3 copies going up for sale. One of them got pulled, and I think that was probably smart that one got pulled. But again, 184 9/8s, and that's just for CGC. You have a CBCS one right here. Which one is going to sell for higher, guys? Do we know? Do you guys have a guess? Which one would sell for higher? Write it in the comments. What do you think is going to sell for higher? Oh man, this is a book, again, I understand that it is relatively rare, and Miles Morales is the future. He's the future, guys. But again, in 2020, 9/8s were like a $4,000 book. If you bought this book 3 years ago for $4,000 and you have the opportunity to sell it for $30,000, wouldn't you take that opportunity? I know what I would do. Look at that. Werewolf by Night. 9/8. It's a picture frame cover. This could be kind of a cool, fun one to see. You got that tweener grade of X-Men #1. I mean, say what you will about this book. I know it's a common grail for Silver Age, but X-Men 1 is X-Men 1, guys. You know what I mean? X-Men 1 is X-Men 1. if there was one Silver Age book that I wouldn't mind just stacking a bunch of copies of, X-Men 1. I realize that X-Men 1 has always had its heyday, but there's not a comic book collector who doesn't want an X-Men 1, you know? It's the same thing with, like, you get so much value. You have 6 first appearances in here, 7 first appearances. Yeah, you have 7 first appearances in that book alone, on top of the fact that you have the first appearance of the team. Good value in that book. You know what I mean? Great value. Some Vampirella. Does that date stamp kill it for you guys? 7/14, the date stamp on the moon. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's not a bad date stamp, but is it an eyesore? What do you guys think? All right, now you have, you know, bottom of the barrel liquor books right here. You know, who cares about your astonishing 30 in a 5.5, or, you know, your Batman 7, or, you know, your Black Cat Mystery 3.0 right up here with the radiated cover face. Just your, you know, cheap, tag them on the end of the auction type of book. Some caps right there. Here's that Crime 2022, guys. Let's see if I can show you guys. I know it's camera's crazy. Crime 22, 6.5. 6.5. This is the same grade as the Bobby Boo collection that sold for $24,000. When the expected value of this book was maybe 14. That's what people were guessing. I mean, that's crazy, right? Like, that book's going to take a haircut for sure. This is one I'm also very interested in. Dynamic Comics number 11. Now, we had the crazy Dynamic Comics sale. Are we going to get a focus? Is this killing it for you guys? Can we zoom in? Can pinch to zoom? No, can't do that, right? This is the problem with doing it analog here. This Dynamic Comics 11, we had the crazy sale for $40,000 with the other Dynamic Comic ones. And I think that this is one of these sleeper covers. I mean, definitely a cover that everybody likes. But because we had the boost of the other one, I think that this one, you know, you talk about the next best thing factor. I think of the Dynamic Comics run, that book probably is the next best thing. You know what I mean? All right, we got a bunch of other stuff here. Plastic Man, Planet Comics, Prize Comics, got some Pep Comics in there. Definitely some cool books. You know, a lot of cool stuff, I'm sure. You know, another Tales of Terror Annual number 1. I mean, that's crazy to see. It's just a book that continues to go up for sale. It used to be a ghost book, and now online has changed that. Superman 15. I have that book, guys. I have that one. Cool laser beam cover. All right, you got some other ones here. You got some other ones. I mean, I'm not going to belabor because, you know, you got to zoom in here and it's hard to see some of these things. But yeah, a lot of cool books, a lot of jumbo stuff, a lot of jungle, you know, comic books and things like that, which, you know, obviously have their market, their demand. But cool to see some of these books, you know, going up for sale. You got a, you know, Punisher 9.6. Obviously, in the back of the book, nobody cares about Fantastic Four number 1 and a 3.5. Yeah, we got to bump it to the back here because not good enough for the front page. These 5-figure comic books, or a Hawkeye in the CGC 9.2, you know, things like that. But cool to see a lot of these books. A lot of pulps coming up. You know, pulps. Okay, I'm causing spine ticks and stuff on this thing. Obviously, my copy is not going to be a collector's item. That's pretty cool. That poster right there. That's pretty bad. And that's pretty cool too. Look at that original Luke Skywalker thing. And a note from Jackie Kennedy. Kind of cool to see that. All right. Well, that was it, guys. That was the Heritage Platinum Auction preview coming up. I've ruined my copy making this video for you guys. What do you guys think about this? You know, what do you guys think about this auction? What do you guys think about the market? Is there going to be enough money in the market to absorb some of these big books? Are we going to see haircuts on them? Are you guys buyers? Are you guys players? What are you guys bidding on? Was this fun to go through the book like this? I mean, I figured they sent me the book. I might as well actually talk about it. Anyways, let's look out for this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you liked it. See you all in the next one.